Ave Maria, everyone. Welcome back to the Roman Martyrology. This is August 1st. The memorial of St. Alphonsus Liguori, bishop and doctor of the Church, who shone through his concern for souls, his writings, his word, and his example. In order to promote Christian life among the people, he engaged in preaching and wrote books, especially on morals, a discipline in which he is considered a teacher, and, albeit among many obstacles, established the Congregation of the Most Holy Redeemer for the evangelization of the simple. Elected Bishop of Sant' Agata dei Goti, he was extremely committed to this ministry, which he had to leave 15 years later due to the onset of serious illness. He then spent the rest of his life at Nocera dei Pagani in Campania, amidst great sacrifices and difficulties. The commemoration of the Passion of the 7 holy Maccabee brothers, who at Antioch in Syria, under the reign of Antiochus Epiphanes, for having observed the law of the Lord with invincible faith, were cruelly put to death, together with their mother, who suffered for each of her children. But, as it is told in the 2nd book of Maccabees, in all they achieved the victory of eternal life. Together with them, we celebrate the memorial of Saint Eleazar, one of the most esteemed scribes, a man already of advanced age, who in the same persecution refused to eat forbidden meat for survival, preferring a glorious death to an ignominious life, and for this willingly preceded the others to the torture, leaving an admirable example of virtue. At Rome, at the 13th mile of the Via Prenestina, Saint Secundino, martyr. At Girona, in northern Spain, Saint Felix, martyred in the persecution of Emperor Diocletian. At Vercelli, the anniversary of the death of Saint Eusebio, bishop, whose memorial is celebrated tomorrow. At Bayeux in Gallia Lugdunensis, now in France, Saint Spire, venerated as the first bishop of this city. In the Aquitaine region in France, Saint Sever, priest, who donated his goods for the construction of churches and for the service of the poor. On the island of Besne near Nantes in France, Saints Friard and Secundel, deacons and hermits. At Marquienne in Gallia Belgica in France, Saint Jonat, abbot, disciple of Saint Amandus. At Winchester in England, deposition of Saint Ethelwald, bishop, who translated the famous Concordia of Monks for the renewal of monastic discipline, which he had learned from Saint Dunstan. At Aosta, Blessed Americo di Quart, bishop, admirable for the austerity of life and dedication to the salvation of souls. At Rieti, Blessed Giovanni da Rieti Bufalari, religious of the Order of the Hermits of St. Augustine, a humble and joyful young man, always ready to help others. At Rome, Saint Pierre Faber, priest, who as the first member of the Society of Jesus undertook onerous tasks in various parts of Europe and died at Rome as he left for the Council of Trent. At York in England, Blessed Martyr Thomas Welborn, who as schoolmaster, sentenced to death under King James I for having carried out activities of incitement to follow the Roman pontiff, was hanged, conforming himself in death to Christ, the Supreme Master. At the city of Nam Dinh in Tonkin, now Vietnam, Saints Damen Nguyen Van Han of the Order of Preachers and Benado Vovan Du, priests and martyrs, beheaded for Christ under Emperor Ming Mang. At the village of Lamur in the Isère region in France, the anniversary of the death of Saint Peter Julian Aymard, priest, whose memorial will be celebrated tomorrow. At Madrid in Spain, Blessed Bienvenido Maria de dos Hermanas Arajal de Miguel, priest of the Capuchin Tertiary of the Blessed Virgin of Sorrows and martyr, who shed his blood for Christ during the persecution against the faith. In the prison camp of Dachau near Munich in Germany, Blessed Alexei Sobajek, priest and martyr, who, Polish by birth, in wartime inhumanely deported by the invaders, died for Christ under torture defending his faith. In the forest near the city of Nowogródek in Poland, Blesseds Maria Stella Odniadrzejsko, Sacramentu Mardoszewicz, and 10 companions of the Congregation of the Sisters of the Holy Family of Nazareth, virgins and martyrs, who in fatal times of war reached heavenly glory by being shot by the enemies of religion. Precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints. Ave Maria.